So, I was inspired to do this video today after watching Tank the Tech cover a story involving a 24-year-old woman who is suing an Australian rock band, Trophy Eyes, after she was left with a spinal cord injury at one of their concerts. And this story hits kind of close to home to me because it took place in Buffalo, which is where I am from, and it has a lot of people in the metal scene afraid that this may lead to a crackdown on mosh pits at concerts. And if you know me, you know that I am a frequent concert goer and I am no stranger to the pit. So this is something that I am definitely paying attention to and has my interest. So this article right here I have pulled up from Blunt. Bird Peach, 24, has filed a lawsuit against Australian punk rock band Trophy Eyes after their show left her with catastrophic spinal injuries. The lawsuit, filed on December 18th in New York's Erie County, names frontman John Florini, the band, the promoter, After Dark Entertainment, and Mohawk Place. Peach alleges negligence and claims the defendants failed to prevent unsafe or dangerous conditions. The incident occurred on April 30th at Mohawk Place in Buffalo, New York. Florini jumped backwards into the audience, landing directly on Peach. The lawsuit alleges the stage dive caused her to be trampled, resulting in serious injuries. So, of course, this is horrible. This is not great that a woman was injured, and from what I understand, the lead singer of the band actually accompanied her to the hospital, and that was very, very nice of him, and it sounds like he was negligent in this situation, so I definitely think he needs to be held accountable for her injuries. And, of course, the Mohawk Place, there's kind of a guilt by association. And they do have policies on no moshing, no crowd surfing, and stuff like that really isn't that heavily enforced. But the Mohawk Place is a very small venue. It is mainly a place where local bands play, or occasionally you'll get like the small black or death metal band, like very, very low-key kind of stuff. Somebody needs to be held accountable, but should us, the concert goers, pay the price for it? And of course, there's a lot of misinformation that goes around about rock and metal and mosh pits in general. A lot of people, if they're not in that scene, if they haven't experienced it themselves, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's violent, it looks like it's aggressive and angry, but it's actually the opposite of that in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, at smaller shows like that, when there is a mosh pit going on, you're typically a lot safer in the mosh pit than you are just immediately outside of it, because the crowd in there is more aware, they're paying attention. If people fall down, they're quick to pick you up. So right now, a lot of people are concerned that this might lead to some crackdowns, maybe some heavier enforcement around mosh pits, which of course is mainly going to affect the metal scene. I personally don't really think this is going to change much. I think that, if you've been to a concert, people are going to do what they want to do. Even if there are signs posted up, there are going to be people starting mosh pits, just like how people are going to light up and smoke a doobie. With a lot of eyes on this story, with it getting more mainstream coverage, there's definitely concern that a lot of people who don't understand the culture might just lump these things together. I never really hear about stories where people are seriously injured at metal shows. It's always like these rap or country or like indie rock, like this kind of stuff here, where you hear about these things happening. It's almost like I almost never hear about any like huge major injury at a metal show, and I think it's because there is that strong culture. There is that just love of the music and that respect, that friendship that picks each other up when they fall down, that like, you know, they'll slam into you as hard as possible, but as soon as you fall down, everyone's gonna rush over and help you up. Like, I've seen people bump heads, I've seen some bloody noses, I've seen some shit. Like, yeah. You know, the worst thing that's ever happened to me in a mosh pit was, it was at a Mayhem show, I think in Rochester, back in like 2017, where there was a guy who was like flailing his arms around like an idiot, and he's like just connected his arm to my eye, like karate chopped my eye and knocked my contact lens out. And I was supposed to be the driver that night, but luckily there was someone else with us who could drive and take over. But yeah, that was the worst thing that's happened to me in a mosh pit. I lost the contact lens and couldn't drive home. I've been bruised up a little bit, but like I've never seen anyone like have a serious medical emergency where a show has needed to be stopped because of a mosh pit. And this is something I've been concerned about for a little while, which is why I wanted to cover it, because I've been seeing less and less people moshing, or people more reluctant to start a pit at a show, as, you know, opposed to like, you know, several years back when I first started going to these shows. It was a lot more common to see. There were a lot more people taking part in it. And I think it's because a lot of people are scared now. A lot of people are afraid because this younger generation, it just does not seem to be as open to it. A lot more, dare I say, sensitive. Just in general, there's a misunderstanding around metalheads and just mosh pits in general. And it's definitely concerning. It's very concerning to see that something that's so important to me, that just brings so much joy and love to so many people, might, you know, potentially go away just out of fear that something might happen. So, yeah, obviously, if you are a singer, if you're in a band, you know, don't jump off the stage. Don't jump into the crowd. Probably not the best idea. Crowd surfing seems a lot more dangerous than just mosh pits in general. Like, I've heard all kinds of stuff. Like, people think that, you know, like you're getting punched in a mosh pit, and if you're in the right kind of mosh pit, it's really just like shoving into each other. I've heard like older people call it slam dancing, and that's kind of what it is. Like, you're just kind of like bumping arms, like, and yeah, you know, sometimes you collide with someone's face, like, you know, sometimes you get pushed off and you know, you hit someone else in the crossfire, but like when you're in that environment, like, you know, there are other people you're bouncing off of, like, you're being picked up when you fall. Like, it's really not a dangerous or violent sort of thing. And there's a lot of just misunderstanding about it, and that could be concerning. That could be a big problem for concerts going forward, and I don't want to see that. I want to see a better understanding. So yeah, I feel horrible for this woman, and I hope she makes a full recovery. So yeah, some people are definitely nervous that this lawsuit might set some kind of a precedent that could affect the entire country, the entire metal scene itself. So let me know what you think of it. This is something that's really important to me. So personally, I don't really think much is going to change. A lot of places already have no moshing policies. And because I've been to a lot of these shows, there really, in my experience, there aren't a lot of big injuries that take place, at metal shows as the result of a mosh pit. Like, I don't think this is going to change much, but I guess we will just have to wait and see. So let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on mosh pits in general? Are you for them or are you against them? Did this video maybe give you a better understanding on what it's like and what the culture around it is like? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it. I'd love, any opposing arguments, anyone who disagrees with me. I'd love to hear that as well. Well, so that's all I had for today. So stay metal and peace out.